Now to Indian nurse Nimisha Priya, who's on a death row in Yemen, Vasudha. The date for her execution has been set for the 16th of July, but can there be a last-minute effort that can save her? She was convicted in the murder of her Yemeni husband in 2018, a very complex case, and the top of the judicial system in Sanaa had confirmed her execution.
That's right, Veera. Frantic last-minute efforts are going on to avert the execution. Under the Yemeni law, a convict can avoid death penalty if the victim's family agrees to accept blood money as compensation. And this is something that Nimisha's family, her supporters have been trying to do, backed by a support group to negotiate this route. Her mother, in fact, who works as a house help in Kochi, sold her home to fight this case, but things did fall apart after 2024.
On the one hand, the humanitarian aspect, on the other hand, the diplomatic aspect. The MEA has been in touch with the family and has said it's making whatever efforts it can in the case, Vasudha.
But Veera, there is limited scope for what the MEA can do because we don't have any diplomatic relations with northern part of Yemen, which is controlled by Houthis. Multiple dimensions in this matter. This NDTV report tries to capture some of the aspects of this complex story.
An alleged act of self-defense, leaving an Indian nurse moments away from the noose. The clock has run out on 37-year-old Nimisha Priya, and her desperate family is pleading for a last-minute reprieve. Priya from Kerala's Palakkad district was convicted of murdering a Yemeni man, her business partner, in 2018. Since her conviction, the Indian government has been negotiating for her release. Born to a family of daily wage laborers, Priya moved to Yemen in 2008, hoping for a better life. In 2014, she opened a clinic with Yemeni national Talal Abdu Mehndi. Following months of physical and sexual abuse, Nimisha allegedly injecting him with sedatives during a fight over her passport. However, the dose proved fatal. Last year, Yemen's Supreme Court then upheld her death sentence. A narrow possibility for clemency remains, through the payment of diya or blood money to the victim's family. The Indian government is doing all it can, working with Yemeni officials, offering roughly rupees 8.5 crore. However, talks broke down last year.
After the Supreme Court order from Yemen, the only remaining option to save Nimisha Priya from execution in Yemen is if the family of the deceased, Talal Abdul Mehdi, to accept the blood money under Yemeni law. This is now the sole remedy available.
Set to hang on July 16th, her family, the Ministry of External Affairs and supporters are making a final push, hoping it's not too late. Bureau Report, NDTV.
It's a complex case, Vasudha, which has played out for more than a decade now. Mohammed Ghazali joins us live. Ghazali, time's very limited. July 16th is the date that's been set. What are MEA officials telling you? What can they do at this stage?
See, this is a big test of Indian diplomacy because all these while we didn't have those kind of diplomatic relations with Yemen when basically Nimisha has been detained or arrested in a locality or area of Yemen, which is controlled by the rebel Houthis there, the Houthis rebel. India has been trying to communicate with the government of the day there, the Houthi rebel, the Houthis government, through our mission in Saudi Arabia, through our embassy there. The embassy officials are in touch, and that is why Nimisha was able to get the assistance of a local lawyer there. But giving the blood money and other options have been exhausted. It all depends on the negotiations that how soon the Indian diplomatic mission in Saudi Arabia and the family can convince the family of the victim there to pardon Nimisha Priya, and perhaps that's the only option available with her.
Thank you, Ghazali, for joining us with those details. Clearly, time is running out and all that we can do is hope, but clearly a lesson for India to ensure that we have a comprehensive labour protection law in place. Joining us now is CPM MP from Kerala, John Brittas, who has raised this issue in Parliament several times. Thank you, Mr. Brittas, for speaking to NDTV. You've been raising this issue consistently. Can you take us through the particular concerns that you pointed out and what was the government's response to you?
I have been taking up this matter consistently with the government of India and had met Honorable Minister Mr. Jaishankar and explained to him the whole gamut of issues, including the emotional aspect of it. And he had promised all possible steps and action from the government of India. I recollect that he had written a detailed letter to me on 27th April 2022. In this letter, he had promised me, quote, I assure you that welfare of Indians abroad is of highest priority for Government of India, and Ms. Nimisha Priya's case will continue to receive our full attention. That was the reply, which was very comprehensive, which I received on 27th April 2022. And after that, an action committee was very active. They mobilized some resources, and the committee was headed by none other than Justice Kurian Joseph. And $40,000 were passed on to MEA so that it can be sent to Yemen to facilitate, to have an interlocutor to discuss with the family of the deceased. And we were under the impression that Government of India is taking swift actions. But I was disappointed that to a start question during the last budget session, that is 13th February 2025, the Minister of State, Shri Kirti Vardhan Singh, he replied to me by saying that the matter regarding any consideration towards the release of Nimisha Priya is between the family of the deceased and Nimisha Priya's family. This was when I had to agitate, and I had to caution the government that these two families cannot interact because the Yemeni laws doesn't permit that. And I had pleaded with the government that certain actions should be taken, and I was expecting that Government of India was exploring various formal and informal channels to make sure that she is released.
Sir, as you say that, what do you expect from the MEA at this stage? Some would argue it's a matter between two families in a foreign country. What more should the government have done?
Technically speaking, one can take the alibi that it's between the family of the deceased and family of the accused. That's a very technical preposition. In all those cases where Government of India has intervened, it would have been the case. But Government of India has the bounden responsibility, duty to explore various channels, and communication need to be set up. In this specific case, I had raised on the floor of the House that since it's believed that that place is under Houthi militia, and our own friendly nation, Iran, has got profound influence in that part, and it was also reported that Iran has offered its good office to help us or facilitate this. So I was suspecting that Government of India will go beyond the technicalities and use the good office of many individuals and also friendly nations. That was what was made us to understand. And the action committee had promised as much as amount which would be needed for blood money to ensure the release of Nimisha Priya. So just to say that it's purely a matter between the deceased family and Nimisha Priya's family is taking a technical position which is not accepted at all. And in many cases where we ensured the release of such people, it was not on a technical parameter. We had to pursue various other measures. So I feel that this should not be the way in which the Government of India has to respond. And we have been always promoting us as the Vishwaguru, and these are the areas where we have got sizable Indian diaspora, and many individuals have got influence there apart from other nations.
So is Mr. Britas, is there any hope left, and what are the learnings for India from this episode, because we have thousands of workers working in Gulf nations?
The unconfirmed reports only. We don't have formal communication from the Government of India or from Yemeni authorities or from anybody based at Sanaa. So the unconfirmed report says that execution is scheduled on 16th of July. That means we have enough time. Government of India needs to quickly put its acts together. Should try to establish some contacts with the Houthi militia or the Yemeni's government or whatever may be there. And the good office of other countries also needs to be roped in to see that the life of Nimisha Priya is saved. I have already written to the Honorable Minister and have detailed all the aspects and also referred to the communication we had with the Government of India and also the answer the Minister of State had given on the floor of the House. And I still feel that Government of India will take quick, adequate, appropriate, expeditious measures to ensure the release of Nimisha Priya.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Britas, for joining us.